Neurotech startup Synchron has connected its brain implant to Apple's Vision Pro headset, allowing patients with paralysis to control the device using their thoughts. This brain-computer interface helps patients operate electronics such as smartphones and computers. Currently implanted in 10 patients, Synchron's BCI awaits FDA approval for wider use. A 64-year-old ALS patient has successfully used the Vision Pro with the BCI to send texts, watch TV, and even create art.
Welcome, everyone, to the Wake Up Call channel. I've talked about Synchron. Synchron is the opposing company to Neuralink. It is a company who is rivaling Neuralink for the brain implant, which somehow, believe it or not, how deep this psychosis runs is that they're using people like Elon Musk and Bill Gates to push and normalize technology even inside of what we look at as the Republican, Democrat, left-right paradigm. So in other words, if that sounds complicated to you, think about how Elon Musk has positioned himself as a conservative, a patriot for free speech. Of course, this is all psychological. There's no truth to any of that, as there is, of course, censorship on the platform X, but they needed to push Elon Musk out as a conservative so that they can continue to gatekeep conservatives with this technology. They saw a lot of the pushback during the outbreak with the vaccine, so they need to make sure that they keep a lot of these conservatives under Elon Musk as far as being able to push this new technology with Elon Musk. They need somebody that conservatives can trust, because clearly conservatives did not trust Bill Gates. Now, Synchron is linked directly to Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates, while Neuralink is linked directly to Elon Musk. And of course, look at Bill Gates, look at Elon Musk. We know Democrats will listen to whatever Bill Gates tells them, and we know that conservatives are getting led to believe whatever Elon Musk tells them. And this technology is pivotal going forward. So think about how scary this is. That clip you just heard about the Synchron brain implant and how it is pairing with Apple Vision Pro. So in other words, people are putting on the Apple Vision Pro and they're able to visualize their thoughts right in front of them with these Apple Vision Pro goggles that they're putting on. And eventually, of course, it goes past that, right? It goes beyond having the Apple Vision Pro right in front of you, or on you. Remember, wearable technology is the transition into implantable technology, right? So this will eventually be something that they're able to see with their own eyes, because they'll no longer be human. They'll have all of this technology embedded inside of their body. So at the same time that this story is out there, it's important to note that there's other stories continuing to circulate, not just with the Neuralink and Elon Musk, who is doing his second trial of Neuralink on patients with Parkinson's, etc. Again, they normalize this stuff by telling you that this is for people out there who have disabilities. That's how they play on your heartstrings into accepting this technology into our lives, into our society. And then after they tell us about how it saved the lives of people with Parkinson's, they tell you how it can better you as a human being, how it can make you a superhuman, how it can make you, again, remember all the programming that's out there with superheroes. That ties into this. That's why there's a superhero movie every single month. And they have all these things out there like, hey, what's your superpower? They're normalizing that while they're pushing this technology out, because that's how they're going to market it to you, right? So right now, everybody's hearing this stuff and they're like, well, that's great, because the poor person who lost their arm in the war, or the poor person who has Parkinson's or Alzheimer's, is now using this technology to live a better life, right? That's all these people need to hear. And they go, that's great. Continue to go along with this technology. And then the next thing you know, which is the plan overall and all along, you're going to start hearing them say, hey, are you depressed? Do you have anxiety? Do you not feel like you're getting enough out of your life every single day? Well, this type of technology can help you sleep less, be less tired, be less anxious, suffer from less depression. In fact, this type of technology will help you become super smart, superhuman, and everything else in between that you've always wanted to be, right? All the programming that's going on around us all coincides at the same time that this technology is coming out. This is the technology that they want to get inside of you. And at the same time that we hear about Synchron, don't forget that they're continuing to tell us about how scientists are using nanoparticles to remote control brains of mice. So at the same time, the story about Synchron being able to use a brain implant to mind control a person with Apple's computer in their eyes, right? They're saying, well, they're not mind controlling them. They're just able to think these things up, conjure these thoughts in their mind, and then see it and visualize it, right? At the same time as that, and the Neuralink being out there, there's also stories about nanoparticles. You get the difference between the two? Nanoparticles, you don't need the brain implant. You don't need to have your head cut open necessarily to have this brain implant. You could actually use nanotechnology, which they have been doing since the outbreak has occurred, really, as far as normalizing it into your bloodstream and getting people to willingly participate in this large science experiment. So let's look at the story with Synchron first, and then I will go into the story about the mice, which we've heard over and over and over again, but now they're actually admitting that they can put nanotechnology inside of the mouse and get it to go wherever they want it to go, and they could remote control, mind control the mouse, which is utter insanity that we're even allowing scientists to do this type of stuff and not thinking to ourselves, well, what's the benefit of that? What's the benefit of doing this to a mouse? Oh, right, because you want to test it on the mouse, master it on the mouse, so you can master it on a human, right? Because what other reason would you ever want to do this to an animal? Well, we want to do it because maybe the mouse is part, in the future, a person is a complete vegetable. We want to be able to use their mind to help them live. Oh, right, because you care so much about humans. It's not about helping the sick or helping people with these diseases. It's about you and getting this technology inside of you so that they could mass control you. So here's the story about Synchron. And remember, Synchron is pretty much the largest investors in Synchron are Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, two of the most wicked people on the planet. And I've exposed Bezos, who gets a pass a lot of the times, who we've seen doing the all-seeing eye symbolism. And of course, every single thing that Bezos has normalized, as far as, Amazon trying to do Amazon Medical, Amazon Go stores where you don't have to pay to leave. Obviously, Amazon enslaving you in your home so you don't have to leave and go shopping. That's all part of the New World Order blueprint. And Bezos is normalizing that. So neurotech startup Synchron announced it's connecting its brain implant to Apple's Vision Pro headset. It's now possible for patients with limited physical mobility to control the device using only their thoughts. Synchron, this is what we're headed towards. Normalizing this is the key. They have the technology already, okay? They have to convince you that this technology isn't just something we need in our society to help disabled people. It's technology that you need in your day-to-day life to be a better person. That's what they're trying to do. So Synchron is building a brain-computer interface designed to help patients with paralysis operate tech like smartphones and computers with their minds. The company has implanted its BCI in 6 patients in the U.S. and 4 in Australia. It still needs approval from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Of course, they will get that because the FDA, like every other 3-letter organization in America, from the FBI, the CDC, the CIA, or worldwide, I should say, is completely corrupt. And all it takes for people out there to put it in their bodies or take it is to get approval from these wicked companies who they don't know, but they're told to trust, right? Just like they were told to go get something in their body that wouldn't make them immune, but they should go get it anyway. And then we've seen what has happened to a lot of people who are just croaking all around the earth right now. So Apple released the Vision Pro earlier this year, and users typically control it with eye movements, voice commands, and hand gestures. Synchron has been working to make it accessible to patients who can't speak or move their upper limbs. So let's take a look at the other story that's out there about scientists using nanoparticles to remote control brains of mice. Scientists at the Institute for Basic Science in South Korea have developed a new way to control the minds of mice by manipulating nanoparticle activated switches inside their brains with an external magnetic field. The system, dubbed Nano MIND, as in mind, works by controlling targeted regions of the brain by activating neural circuits. While it's not the first mind control experiment involving animals, previous approaches have conveniently relied on invasive surgery and bulky external systems that limit the movement of test subjects. And again, I've talked about this, okay? They're telling you this quietly, but this is already going on with human beings. You don't need to have a surgery. You don't need this visual of the brain implant. Everybody thinks when they hear the word brain implant, and they want you to think this way for now, is that you're going to have your head cut open and you're going to have a chip put in your head. And most people go, well, that'll never happen. That'll never happen to me. They can do this via nanoparticles and nanotechnology. It can be injected directly into your bloodstream. Elon Musk has openly talked about how it's already going on. This is pre the outbreak, how they were already able to do this. We've even seen it, I've covered in previous videos recently, how they can do the injection right by your ear. Hence the whole thing with the ear badge and the predictive programming with all of these conservatives putting a bandage on their ear, okay? This is something that could be put in a needle that could be put inside of you. That's what they're talking about here. That's what they're saying. Okay, invasive surgery is no longer needed, and it's not going to be needed to get this stuff implanted in people. And again, there are already people among us who have had this experiment done on them. They think it's a joke. They refuse to believe it. Many of them have dropped dead. And this is going to continue because these people are willing test subjects. They're signing up for these experiments out in the open. Now, when they tell us about these mice and they tell us about how they're doing this on animals, people should just say to themselves, why are we doing this stuff in the first place? Why do you want to remote control a mouse? Why do you want to remote control their mind? Well, they'll tell you, of course, this is because they care so much about the small amount of people who have Parkinson's or Alzheimer's, which is only growing. The numbers of people with Alzheimer's is only growing because of those towers that are up and the chemical baths they give us every day from the sky. But people out there don't even think any further than, hey, it's this new technology. Not how it's being done, who's responsible for it, and what the ultimate plan is to have this type of technology, because they refuse to believe that there's people this wicked who would do these types of things and these types of experiments on the mass populace. They go on to say, we expect it to be widely used in research to understand brain function, sophisticated artificial neural networks, two-way brain-computer interface, technologies, and new treatments for neurological disorders. In experiments, the researchers activated neurons within specific areas of the brain to increase appetite and feeding behaviors by 100%. By exciting these neurons, the team could conversely reduce the food the mice ate by 50%. They also used the system to selectively activate receptors responsible for maternal behaviors in the brains of female mice that hadn't reproduced. By activating these pathways, the mice significantly increased nurturing behaviors such as bringing pups to their nest, similar to maternal mice. In a third experiment, the researchers managed to activate brain regions responsible for boosting friendly behaviors, encouraging mice to get along with other mice in a small chamber they had never met before. The scientists manipulated the neurons by magnetically twisting a tiny actuator to pull or push nanoparticles implanted in the mice brains. The research could lay the groundwork for novel nanotech-based treatments for neurological conditions in humans. What's key in that in the third experiment, again, it sounds absolutely absurd, right? When you hear this stuff, oh, they're going to encourage and boost friendly behaviors in mice to get along with other mice. Why in the world anyone would actually even think to do this with mice, or just think about this in general, right? But what is the common theme that we hear from all these big corporations? Behavioral control, right? What's Larry Fink always tell us? It's about controlling behaviors, learning to control behaviors. They want to control behaviors. How interesting that one of the experiments that they're doing on mice is to control the behaviors in mice, to make mice more friendly with other mice. Imagine what that would do with human beings. Maybe like human beings who are not into all the insanity, all the sin that's being normalized. You know, how about take one mouse, let's just use the mice as an example. One mouse doesn't agree that the other mouse should be bobbitizing itself, or the other mouse should be, deciding it wants to be the opposite gender. Well, with this new technology, they can make that mouse accept that behavior. And they could alter the behavior of that mouse who decides it doesn't want to go along with the other Baphomet insanity that's going on in the world. Well, now thanks to this technology that's being implanted via injection, they can control and boost friendly behaviors in that mouse so that it complies with all the insanity. See where this is going? Do you think that they actually care about a mouse and its behavior getting along with other mice? No. They care about your behavior, and they tell us this every single day. So these experiments they do on animals, nobody ever thinks to themselves why they're doing it. They just go, whatever. Oh, they're scientists. I'm not smart enough to understand it, right? They do it on animals, telling you they're doing it on animals because they're going to be doing it on you, and they already are doing it on humans. We all already know this. So it's very important to pay attention to all of this stuff going on with technology because they're getting this normalized by telling you that Companies like Synchron, which are operated, really funded by Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, and companies like Neuralink, which is funded by Elon Musk, that they care about ill people, that they want to get this technology out there so that people who have Parkinson's disease can now suddenly function, people with Alzheimer's can suddenly function, and that's not what the goal is. The goal is what you read and heard in that underlying theme about mice, about remote controlling the brains of mice using nanoparticles, right? Using brain implants, which can be put in via nanoparticles and nanotechnology. So this is utter insanity that humanity is allowing this stuff to go on. But if they tell you that it's for the less fortunate, and who are you to say that they shouldn't be doing this for the sick people out there who need it? Nobody ever says why any of these people are sick or asks why these people are so sick and why there's such an increase in Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and why there's such a decrease in men and women being able to have babies. Nobody asks that stuff, right? That's when they suddenly believe in God. They go, I can't believe God won't let me have a baby. I can't believe God is giving my 3-year-old cancer, right? Meanwhile, you go, well, wait a minute. Did you inject something in your kid at birth? Yeah, I did, but that's normal, right? Oh, no, it's not. You put stuff inside your kid's body because you trusted in the hospital that the child was born in and the people behind, who were putting some mysterious liquid in the body, right? You were going, yeah, you can eject them. And then you look up, you see a blue sky day. And the next thing you know, the sky's covered in haze. You don't think anything of it, right? You don't think about how all of a sudden people are so sick and how all of a sudden people can't procreate, right? Nobody thinks about that and goes, hey, maybe we're getting taken advantage of here. People are really getting sick because they're doing stuff to us. Or you look at the side of a processed food box, go pick up your Cheerio box and read what's in it. You can't even pronounce 90% of the things on the side of the box. Sounds like weed. Might as well just say weed killer on the side of the box. And oh yeah, by the way, we've had, General Mills and these companies come out and tell us that they have put weed killer in our food. So it's absolutely incredible how they're getting this pushed along, but they are. And little by little, when you see this, you have to pull yourself out of it and start saying to yourself, wow, you're going to get your own, Neuralink nanotechnology from Elon Musk and from Bill Gates, and how this even ties into the left-right paradigm. This is stuff that has to happen going forward in a new world order. So remember to look for those things with the left-right. And these people that tickle your ears and how they're hurting people. And they're telling them, oh yeah, we're for God. We're for God. We're for Jesus, like Trump and Elon Musk. Yeah. Hey, did you hear about this cool tech we have? It's for poor, sick people out there. And then a few years from now, when they say, wow, those people with Parkinson's are living great lives. Did you know that they've actually advanced from there? And we could actually put this in regular people and enhance their lives? Really? Because if the people don't actually combust in front of them, they won't believe that it's the mark of the beast or any type of demonic technology. It would take the person bursting into flames. So they'll use their celebrities. They'll use these people moving forward. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Michael J. Fox being used going forward with this type of technology so that they can promote it. And people go, that's incredible. That's great. We need more of this. Wait, what? This type of technology could prevent cancer. This type of technology could do this. And I won't be tired at the end of the day. Sign me up. And that's when we head towards the mark of the beast. That's when we head towards this type of technology being inside of your body and you no longer being a human being. So just more nonsense, just more craziness that we see around us with Synchron, with brain chips, with look how it all ties in, right? With Apple's, goggles, the Apple lenses that people are putting on, the Pro Visions, and how their brain is actually able to bring whatever they're thinking, visualize it, and put it right in front of their eyes. It's frightening. It's frightening. I thank everybody for being here. I hope everybody out there is doing well. God bless all of you and your families, as always.